Before we get started, I just want to put out a quick disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Everything in this video is going to be strictly educational, so anything that you decide to purchase is totally at your own risk. But we're looking into Hertz. I'm just a little bit curious about what it is. So it hit a major zone of support, but at the same time, it kind of just bottomed too. It's like right now it's just only at 250. So before it was falling in value since about 2014. It's a long time coming, but the pandemic it definitely didn't help because it was already around between 26 and about February was when it all, yeah, $22. So when all that happened, it just pushed it down even further ever since everything else happened. But yeah, Hertz, they filed a Chapter 11 for bankruptcy. So does that mean that they're totally out of business? Not at all. It doesn't mean that they're done. I mean, there's still potential that they can come out of this okay, but for them, it does require them to put in some work. So ever since then, it's October now, and they have definitely put in some work towards trying to get their business back in line. But at this point, what have they done? So now that we're looking at a little bit of news, it seems like they've secured some type of financing to kind of help keep their business afloat. I know they went into trying to sell their vehicles as well, which can be helpful, but at the same time it was like for a cheaper price than they bought it. I'm sure that's what I would think. They just need to get rid of the cars, so they got rid of it at a decently cheaper price, more than likely. But overall, the assets help. Or at the same time, if they still had a bill in those, I mean, they just at the same time they probably pass it on or whatever. But even still, they got rid of what they could. But at the same time, maybe they kept some of those cars. I don't know if they sold everything, but it is likely they have a limited stock. But overall, they have some financing again, and more than likely, or maybe they're getting some new. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the plan is for Hertz. I personally haven't really looked deeply into it, but as you're looking into this, they're definitely trying to. They're not giving up. That's what I'm looking at, and at this point, they are at a cheap price. They started selling more shares. I mean, like, yeah, the shares are pretty much worthless at this point, but it adds up, gives them a bit more income to work with. Ugh. So at the end of the day, it's like, what is it going to do, and how far can it potentially rise? Looking at how far it has dropped, I honestly don't see it going too far. I mean, we have a lot of people using Uber more and more now, but at the same time, not every city has that availability to use Uber. Some people travel to far places. Like, I know for me, when I use this stuff, going to states like down, going to southern states and all that, I'm making long drives for the holidays. I'm driving for, yeah, 3 hours from the airport. Okay, maybe a bit longer than about 6 hours from the airport every time. You got people traveling like that. I mean, who's going to take an Uber when they could just rent a car? You have different types of scenarios. But with the need of rental cars still being available, I would I don't think that they're going to close that easily. I mean, there's more balance with Uber and Lyft being available, but maybe my guess would be around 26, I would hope, if it did come back. But at the same time, it's like it's only $2.50. So it's like depending on you, is this something that you want to invest in, or do you think that this is something that you're just going to pass on and you'd rather put something into something, invest into something stronger? It just depends on your own overall belief. But I'd like to see what the overall investor community is thinking. Like, do you think that Hertz is a good company at this point in time? It's October 18th at this very moment. So I really want to know what everyone else is thinking. Do you think this is a great opportunity for yourself? Like, do you think that you can risk holding this for the next 5 to 10 years or so? I gotta know. But also feel free to give this video a like. Feel free to subscribe. If you're interested in stocks and you have no idea how to invest, feel free to check my link in the description. I put a link for Robinhood and Webull. You can get a free stock just for joining, and it's commission free. So feel free to check it out. And also feel free to subscribe. There's going to be tons and tons of content.